You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and white sports fans, let's talk about LeBron James and Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart and LeBron James both have been suspended. We all know what went down. LeBron James elbowed Isaiah Stewart in the face and then ended up swinging at him with his backhand. Huge gas over his eye, and there was blood everywhere. However, the aggressor in that situation was actually Isaiah Stewart. He did not bat down. He didn't bat down to one LaChina James. He was furious. But if you actually watch the video, LeBron James seemed to want none of Isaiah Stewart. None. He backed off. Isaiah Stewart was definitely the aggressor, and that is why he got a 2-game suspension. Okay? Now, Stephen A. Smith weighed in on the suspension of LeBron James and Isaiah Stewart. And boy, what he said completely wrecked the legacy of LeBron James, because he said there is no fear factor with one LeBron James. Can you imagine players in the NBA not fearing MJ, Kobe? Now, definitely LeBron is not built like that. He's not in that mindset. LeBron James is always clowning around on the court and things like that. You know, that's him. Okay, he can do him. That's what he wants to do. I'm not saying he has to be like Kobe or MJ, but LeBron James wants to be the GOAT. And one of the things that really separates Michael Jordan and LeBron James is that killer will. I want to take your heart out. LeBron James just is not built like that. So let's dive in to what Stephen A. Smith had to say about LeBron James. Over here on Twitter, on First Take's Twitter page, he says this: in my estimation, from the people I've spoken to covering the league, LeBron has never been feared. With LeBron, you believe you can take him. You believe he can be had. And we're going to listen to the whole clip here, guys. And man, this is not a good look for the legacy of one LeBron James. So with that being said, let's go ahead and play this clip here.
In all the years that I've covered the league, we talk about the Jordans of the world, the Kobes of the world, and people like that. And you saw LeBron when he first came into the league. You saw when they went to the finals. You saw when they was feigning, taking pictures and playing around and being jovial and all of that other stuff. LeBron James is too phenomenal and too great not to be incredibly respected. But in my estimation, from the people that I've spoken to covering the league, he's never been feared. LeBron is not somebody that instills fear in you. Of course, you got a game plan for him, and you know that his Herculean talents and what have you, and what he brings to the table, he's impossible to stop. He's one of the top 2-3 players in the history of basketball. You know.
Now, with that being said, I want to say this. I know that we come hard at LeBron on this channel, but we have never, ever denied this man's talent. This man is immensely talented. He is probably, the most talented player ever, something like that. Definitely in the top 2 or 3 talented players of all time. Yeah, but I agree with Stephen A. Smith. He's not feared. I mean, this is a man that crumbled up in the 2011 NBA Finals, taken out by Jason Terry. I mean, Jason Terry ate his heart. Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks just ate LeBron James up for lunch and spit him out. Let's move on.
All of those things. But a lot of times when we think about MJ, for example, and obviously he's the one person that draws those comparisons, what ultimately comes up short is the level of fear that was instilled in you. You didn't mess with MJ. You didn't come at MJ like that. You didn't do stuff like that. People, and I'm not talking about Isaiah Stewart, I'm just talking about period in terms of opponents and how they come at you. You believe that you wondered what you was going to do about this. With LeBron, you believe you can take him. You believe he can be had, whether it's because of the teammates around him, the system he's playing in, the people that, whatever skill set you bring to the table, et cetera, you just view him differently. And throughout the years in covering the league, Those are all the things that I've consistently heard. Now, obviously, he would refute that. There's players that would refute that who have been supportive of him. Rich Paul and Maverick Carter definitely would refute that.
Of course, that's his boys. That's his boys. That's his business partners.
Because I've spoken to them about it in the past. But again, he is profoundly respected. This is not an issue about respect for LeBron. I'm talking fear factor. Fear factor. That's just not something that has ever been associated with him.
And I believe, folks, that is the reason why he is not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did have a fear factor to him. LeBron James, when Isaiah Stewart went after him, LeBron James wanted no part of that. No part of that whatsoever. Now, going back to the 80s and 90s, you know, the NBA, it was different. I mean, if somebody came at you, you guys were going to be swinging, okay? Now, you guys know that I was a big Hakeem Olajuwon fan. And Hakeem in the 90s was definitely a different person than he was in the 80s. When Hakeem first came into the league, man, Hakeem was tough as nails, and he always remained tough as nails. He didn't bat down. He didn't bat down at all. But Hakeem had that fear factor. Michael Jordan had that fear factor. Kobe did too. LeBron, LeBron just comes off, hey man, I just want to be a friend, that kind of thing. Everybody remembers 1995 Western Conference Finals. Hakeem Olajuwon watching David Robinson get that MVP. He was pissed. And boy, he just took it out on David Robinson. I mean, absolutely annihilated him in the Western Conference Finals. LeBron, all the talent in the world, but you know what? Stephen A's right, man. There's no fear factor. Isaiah Stewart definitely did not fear LeBron James at all. That would never happen to Michael Jordan, I believe, like that. And if it did, I don't believe that Michael Jordan would have bat down. I mean, LeBron was clear across the court. He didn't want any part of Isaiah Stewart whatsoever. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, Stephen A. Smith says LeBron James is not feared. And I believe that is one of the biggest reasons why he can never be the GOAT. I mean, LeBron is more concerned about teaming up with everybody, being buddy-buddy, with everybody jumping from team to team. This is his legacy, man. This is his legacy. And that is why he can never, ever be Michael Jordan. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.